What's happening, Carolina fans? Welcome to Two Fans in the Stands, a podcast related to all things Carolina Panthers and North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm your co-host, Tony.
And I'm your co-host, CJ.
Let's go. CJ, what's good, cuzzo? How you feeling?
Well, I can't lie. I hate to see somebody lose their job, but I'm a little excited because I know that's your boy. I know you like him, but it was time for him to go.
Yeah, it was time for him to go. And there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. I can't even trip about it. You know, it is what it is. The NFL stands for not for long, and it's a it's a what have you done for me lately league, and he ain't done nothing in the past two and a half years. So, you got to keep it moving, player.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say this too. I want the world to know that I don't think that Rule is a bad person. Okay, I think he's probably a really good person. He's probably really good to be around. And you can tell that even in college, all his players like him. His players that played for him, played for him at Carolina, they all really liked him. And I don't think that the players for the Panthers disliked him at all. But what he was doing, it just wasn't getting the job done. So, I hate to see anybody lose their job. But, it ain't like me and you losing the job. He losing the job and still going to get paid for the next 3-4 years maybe. So
I don't know how many years, but I know he getting another 40 million guaranteed.
40 million, yeah. So
how about that?
Yeah, so he good.
Right. Yeah, I hate to see him go, and like just because you have success at the college level, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to translate into the NFL. And that's what a lot of these college coaches that have tried to make that transition to the league has found out. Nick Saban found out. Pete Carroll found out the first time. It's not an easy transition. So, I think he'll go back down to the college ranks and get one of them top jobs down there. And I wish him nothing but the best, because he did come to Baylor. My wife is a Baylor alumni. So he came to Baylor.
Mentioned that before?
Yeah. She graduated from Baylor. What?
I don't think you mentioned that before.
Didn't mention what?
That she graduated from Baylor. I don't think you mentioned that ever in one of our videos.
Yeah. Yes, I did. You just probably wasn't listening. But yeah.
That's just me being an ass because you said it quite a few times. That's all.
Oh, okay. I see what we're doing. All right. It's cool. But anywho, damn it. But yeah, he came over and took over a program at Baylor that was like on his last knee, and
sure was.
He did a good job. And I guess just like with any other organization, you hope that what he did previously carries over to the next job, and it just didn't happen. So just like I said, wish him the best of luck, him and Phil Snow, because Phil Snow, seems like a pretty good guy. But it's a new day, and I'm glad to see Steve Wilkes is going to get an opportunity that I feel like he should have when he went to Arizona. Now, how good of an opportunity this is going to be and how it plays out at the end of the season, I think a lot of it's going to be based off the remaining 12 games, and I don't think David Tepper is necessarily looking to see Steve Wilkes going to turn around and all of a sudden we're going to, start winning a whole bunch of games. I don't think that's what the formula is. I think he wants to see how the team responds to him and how competitive the team can be. You know,
I was just about to say that.
be
They got to at least
competitive,
be
be in the
competitive.
game, get the offense moving, stop looking boring, and get the fans back in the stadium. That's what I think David Tepper is going to be looking for.
Oh boy, because let me tell you, Bank of America Stadium was red on Sunday, buddy.
Yeah,
that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing.
So, is there any updates to this week's injury report or transactions going into our week matchup against the defending Super Bowl champions, Los Angeles Rams?
Well, J.C. Horn was held out of practice again, and Baker Mayfield. DJ Moore was a full participant with his shoulder, injury or issues with his shoulder. Frankie Louisville was limited, and Xavier Woods was also limited, and Laviska Shenault and Stanley Thomas Oliver III are still out, not practicing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right to it. What are you hoping? Usually I would say, what are you looking for? But we're going to just go with the hope factor this week. So what are you hoping to see from the Panthers in this week matchup with the Rams?
Okay, let me go down the list. I hope J.C. Horn plays. I hope that he's up to snuff. I hope Frankie Louisville gets back on the field. I hope that he's back up to snuff. I hope Xavier Woods gets back on the field, because with Chin being out was one thing, okay?
Right.
Big playmaker on our defense, got to have him out there. But when you missing Chin, you missing Woods, and you missing Louisville. Louisville has been the spark plug for the defense this whole year.
Yes,
and you really saw that last week versus the 49ers. It was on billboards. It was for everybody to see, big bright letters. Frankie Louisville is not here. Xavier Woods is not here. We in a little bit of trouble. Things ain't looking too good, folks. So, I hope that they can come back. I hope they can play. And I say this, and I pray to the good Lord above, I'm not jinxing the Panthers or anything.
Let us pray.
The way that the Rams look this year, I don't want to say that all you got to do is stop Cooper Kupp and you beat them, because Cooper Kupp is it seems like he's gonna get his no matter what. But if they can keep tabs on him somewhat, because you're not going to hold him down, because it baffles me, because he is literally their whole offense. But the way they do things and the chemistry that him and Stafford do have together is you just can't stop it. And they run him in the he's in the outside, they run him in the slot. So they're going to make sure that he gets his. So,
they definitely move him around a lot.
Yeah. If the defense can be, let me see, what's the word I'm looking for? If they can be fortunate enough to make stops at the right times, especially, when the rare occasions when they don't throw the ball to Cooper Kupp, and they can stop whoever the target is from making the reception, making the first down and whatnot, we might have a chance.
Right.
We might have a chance, depending on what our offense can do. And, that would be my hope for the defensive side of the ball. And I'll kick it back to you for the offensive side of the ball. What would be your hopes for them this week?
Well, one, I say this week in and week out, and it seemed like they listened to me, or, the gods heard me for 1 or 2 weeks, and then they got back away from it again last week. But I just want to see them establish the run with CMC. Not only establish the run with him, but they need to get Deontay Foreman more involved. He needs to have more than just two carries in the game. That is crazy to me. It is like beyond belief. Like I don't. I never understood that formula because you brought him here for a reason. He proved his worth and his value last year in Tennessee. So we're not going to utilize him. I didn't understand that. I think that's like
facts.
You're putting too much pressure on CMC. So you can't say that you're trying to keep him healthy, but at the same time you're running him to death. Like that don't even out to me.
Yes.
Also, I want to see them give PJ Walker time and protection in the pocket. I think overall, I think you're going to see a much calmer quarterback in the pocket. And I think you're going to see someone that's going to get back there and get the ball out of his hands. I just hope that he plays within the scheme. Don't try to push the ball downfield when there's not anything there. You know what I'm saying? That's okay to tuck it and run it. It's okay to drop it down to your check off, or sometimes it's like you said, it's just better to just take the sack. Just don't commit any turnovers. Don't do anything that's going to kill us, and get the receivers involved, huh?
I said manage the game.
Yeah, manage the game. Exactly. And get the receivers involved and add some creativity to the offense. We were talking about this right before the show. You can do the same thing, but you need to add some smoke and mirrors to the offense. You need to be able to manipulate and move the eyes of the defense to make them think one thing, even though you get ready to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you don't stop looking so predictable. Stop looking so boring. Because if I can sit at home and tell what you get ready to run, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And defensively, I want to touch on this one thing because I know Steve Wilkes and Al Holcomb, they are a 4-3 defense primarily. You know what I'm saying? That's their scheme, and they love to blitz. So I think we're going to see more blitzes from the defense now than we have, seen in the Matt Rule era. So I think you're going to see a lot of stunts up front. I think you're going to see the linebackers get into it. I think you're going to see some blitz from the slot corner. So I think we're going to see some things that we haven't seen normally for the defense going forward. And like you mentioned, if we get Frankie Louvu back, Xavier Woods, JC Horn plays, we get those guys back. It's gonna be a long day for the Rams. It's gonna be a long day for Rams because I think with Phil Snow defense, I think so much was predicated on you just winning a one-on-one matchup with the man in front of you. That's cool if you have 4 dominant linemen that can win one-on-one matchups like that on a consistent basis, which we don't, which really nobody in the league does, So you have to be creative. You have to throw some stunts in there. You have to throw some blitzes in there. You have to shake it up. And I don't think Phil Snow shook it up enough to let that, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think he shook it up enough for you to be able to see the aggressiveness that we could have played with. You saw it some.
Yeah.
You saw it in the game against the Giants. That first half, we were aggressive as hell. But then we let up. We didn't continue that aggressiveness. We didn't continue to go with what was working in the first half. So I just want to see them do it on a more consistent basis. So those are the things I'm looking forward to, and that I'm looking to see come Sunday against the Rams.
And I wanted to kick it back to what you said about the defense. I want them. My thing is, if you got your foot to the floor and it's working, if you're doing 100 miles an hour and you ain't passing nobody, the cops is leaving you alone, you ain't hit nobody, there ain't no pedestrians as far as the eye can see. God damn it, keep your foot on the gas. That's what I want to see. If
the rule of law, right?
Yeah, if you're blitzing and it's working, I'm not saying that you got to blitz every single play, but if you're bringing consistent pressure and it's working and you're getting the other team off the field, and just say, and like I said again, I pray to the heavens above, just say the offense can put up some points this week. My hope and prayer is that we get points and we keep the pressure. We keep our foot on the gas and keep giving it to the Rams offense. That's what I want to see. I just hope to God that if they start out and it's working, I hope they don't just abandon it like it seems like they do every week.
Right.
Except last week, because that was just a curve stomping last week. But it just seemed, especially like the Giants game, Saints game, and the game with the Cardinals. In all three of those games, we had a chance to win. And once we got up by a few points, it was like, all right, fellas, let's ease it back. And then we settled it. The thing I hate the most is that damn zone. It's one thing if Carolina runs that zone and they're great at it. Carolina runs that zone and they suck.
But not only that, they were running the zone, but they wasn't applying the necessary pressure up front to make the zone work. Because when you run a zone and you giving a quarterback too much time to pick you apart, to give the receivers time to get open, to find holes, find pockets in the zone, that's not good for anybody. One thing about Steve Wilks, he's very aggressive. When he was with us before as a defensive coordinator, the blitz package increased by 17-18% than it did the year before when we had Sean McDermott. You can play zone, because that's what the Chicago Bears do. The Chicago Bears play zone. They've been a zone defense for years, but they apply pressure and they will blitz you in the front end to throw off that time in between the quarterback and the wide receivers. So by the time he has time to allow the receiver to find a cushion in the pocket, to find an open pocket in the zone, the rush has already gotten there. That's what you want to see. That's what you're hoping for, and that's what Carolina wasn't doing enough of. In playing for Phil Snow. So it was like, I didn't, like I said, I didn't understand a lot of their concepts and their reasonings. When we were blitzing, we were great at it and we looked damn good.
Yeah.
But like you always say, why take your foot off the pedal when ain't no cops around? You know what I'm saying?
You cruising along at a good 160 and everything is going great. So
if I'm
the gas.
If I'm doing 160 and I ain't passing nobody, I'm assuming everybody else doing 160 beside me, so we good.
Exactly. Exactly. And you even saw that from Carolina's defense in years past. Especially like when we had Josh Norman back there. They played a lot of zone. Josh Norman had his side of the field, and that scheme with those players, that it worked. But like you said, they brought pressure.
And who was the defensive backs coach back then? Steve Wilks.
Yep. Yes, sir. Steve Wilks.
He was the defensive backs coach back then when we had that success. When Carolina went to the Super Bowl, Steve Wilks was the defensive backs coach. Pass game coordinator. Yeah. So I think we're going to see a lot of what we used to do, so, and hopefully, now I don't know how much of a change this will help him, but I'm praying to the gods that some way, somehow, they can get CJ Henderson mind right back there. I'm just keeping hope alive, and the reason why I'm keeping hope alive, because I'm like, he's on our team, he's already here. Mm-hmm. What choice do we have? So
you're right.
I'm just staying hopeful that they're going to shake that out of him and get him right. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, hopefully somebody sat down and talked with him this week, and because my thing is with Henderson, he has, when he's been on the field, it's like he consistently makes one boneheaded damn play a game.
Yes,
and his whole tape hasn't been terrible, but when he messes up, he messes up, and it's so noticeable. Pass interference. Guy catch a ball, he sit right there and looked at him run past him and was like, y'all want me to do what? Nah. he literally looked like he was done with it, and he was like, yo, is the game over? Like, can we go home? I don't know if I've ever seen a more lackluster attempt to make a tackle in the NFL as I did last week with him. So yeah. Hopefully somebody is in his ear talking to him, hyping him up. So we'll see.
Well, one thing for sure, two things for certain. If he don't get his mind right going forward, he won't be playing very long. You can bet that.
Hey, he sure won't. He sure won't, because I hope they get out of this. Oh, well, I'm going to stick with them because they're here. My thing is, if they ain't playing right, put their ass on the bench and let the next man step up and try and make a play.
Yep. I'm 110%, but I'm 110% behind you on that one, my brother.
Yeah, loyalty should be accompanied with results. If you ain't got the results, it ain't no need to be loyal. As far as this go, as far as this go. Yeah.
You're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely correct. You got anything else for us before we get out of here?
No, but for all of y'all that know the word of prayer, take some time this weekend and shoot one up for the Panthers, please.
Oh my God. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that will do it for us on 2FansInTheStands Week 6 preview of the Carolina Panthers versus the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium Sunday in Inglewood, California. Check us out after the game as we give a full game recap of the Panthers and Rams matchup. As always, Panthers Nation, keep pounding.